Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Good to see everybody that has tuned into the video. Had a little bit of vacation during the Christmas holidays. Went back home, saw the fam, saw my grandparents. It was all fun and games. You guys did not like Will Scott when he hosted the video. I'll tell you that much. The comments were not nice to Will, and I love that. The real ones are only allowed to do videos on this channel. Welcome in. If you're happy we're back in the studio, go ahead and give us a thumbs up right now. Like this video. In today's show, we're going to touch on the latest trade rumors surrounding the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about Tobias Harris, a name that has been linked to New York. But first, let's start with Obi Toppin, as there's a report coming out that the Knicks have been in talks with the Indiana Pacers about a potential Obi Toppin trade. Let's see what the Eastern Conference executive said via Heavy.com. He said, there has been some talks between the Pacers and Knicks about Obi. He fits in Indiana, especially if they keep Myles Turner. Obi is a rim runner. He has some toughness. He has some athleticism. He needs minutes. And a team that is rebuilding with young talent like Indy is a really good match. So when I saw this report from one of the best websites out there, Heavy.com, my first initial thought was, well, the Indiana Pacers do have some intriguing young pieces, and we'll run through that real quick. They got a guy like Myles Turner. I don't necessarily think that Myles Turner is a guy that they really want to trade. There was a report a couple of days ago that Turner and the Pacers have started to talk about a potential extension involving the unrestricted free agent, Buddy Hield, one of the best sharpshooters from downtown. Chris Duarte, I believe his name is. Good young piece. I think it's his second year, maybe third year in the NBA, can score a little bit. Tyrese Halliburton, doubt they trade in. Love to get Benedict Mathurin. If you watch the channel during the offseason, that was the guy we talked about a lot during the mock trades. But I believe the Knicks would be interested in trading with the Pacers because they have 3 first-round draft picks in the 2022 NBA, or I guess 2023 NBA draft. New year, I don't even know. But 2023 is when the Pacers have 3 first-round picks. So I believe that's what the trade would be for. But maybe you could get, if you're going to do players, I believe the most likely are Myles Turner and Buddy Hield. Those are guys that the Pacers have been shopping all season long. They've been linked to the Lakers, and both these guys are good players, no doubt about it. When you look at their 2022, 2023 stats so far this season, they're both giving you about 17 points per game. Turner's giving you 8 rebounds, assists and a half, while shooting 41% from downtown, while also giving you, I think, almost 3 blocks per game, shooting 54% from the field. Buddy Hield, one of the most efficient shooters in the National Basketball Association. He's not quite a 50-40-90 guy, but look, when you shoot 46% from the field and 43% from downtown, this is a guy that anybody would want on their team. But if the Knicks do make this trade with Indiana like they have so-called talked about, it's to get draft ammunition, and that's to make a bigger trade for a bigger star and a bigger fish in a different market. The Pacers have 3 first-round picks in the upcoming draft. If you can get one of those picks for Obi Toppin, it would suck to see Obi go because we've seen somewhat of the type of player that he can be so far this season. We've seen the improvement on the three-point shot. We've seen what he's been able to do in his game. He's become a little bit of a better defender. He's become a better ball movement guy, and he can run in the break. We know that. He's not the best rebounder. He's not the best defender, but he's an easy bucket getter. He's a one-man fast break, and he's a guy that can light you up from downtown. He was shooting almost 42% from downtown at one point, but it's kind of leveled off to 35%. So I'll ask you this question. Would you trade Obi to the Pacers? If they're giving me 1 first-round pick, honestly, no, I'm not really in the camp of wanting to move on from Obi Toppin. I would still like to see what he can be in 2-3 years. I know he's already 24 years old. He's a 3-year player in the league, but he's already in his mid-20s. So the Knicks are going to have to make a decision on him. You got a guy like Emmanuel Quickly and Obi, both expected to be free agents in the coming, not this summer, but next summer. They're extension eligible. You can offer them qualifying offers. Knicks are in a tough spot. They're not going to have enough money to give everybody the money that they want. So I'll ask you, would you trade Obi to the Pacers? Type T for trade, or you can go down and type P for pass. We're going to get to more news and rumors. We're going to talk about Tobias Harris. He was linked by Ian Begley to the New York Knicks. We'll talk about that. But first, I want to tell you about Rocket Money, an awesome app, an awesome sponsor that we have on the channel. In 2023, I'm trying to get rich, and I'm going to do that by saving money. And I'm going to do that with Rocket Money. Organize and optimize all of your finances. Cancel your unused subscriptions with just a tap. Keep track of your monthly expenses. Get started today by going to rocketmoney.com/NBA now. It's the app that will save you hundreds of dollars. That's from Forbes. We negotiate to help lower your existing bills. You can monitor events that affect your credit score. It's an app where you can view all your subscriptions on one screen. You can stay on top of upcoming bills and let us, Rocket Money, cancel unwanted subscriptions for you. There's never anything worse than looking at a credit card statement and you're like, why am I being charged for $12.99 per month for Spotify and I listen to Apple Music? You can fix that by canceling your subscriptions through Rocket Money with just a tap of a button. Go to rocketmoney.com/NBA now. That link's in the comments and description of today's show. Ian Begley reported on Christmas Day that the Knicks and 76ers, or at least the Knicks have had internal discussions about a potential Tobias Harris trade to the New York Knicks. It's a guy that grew up in the area, a guy that makes a lot of money. But he's also a guy that's a pretty damn good basketball player. He averages 17 points per game, 6 rebounds, shoots about 49-50% from the field, and he can stroke it from the outside, 39.4% from downtown. But I think the question is, do the Knicks need Tobias Harris? Where would he play? Does he come off the bench? I don't want to see Grimes come off the bench. I don't want to see RJ come off the bench. Julius ain't coming off the bench, so where does he play? Do you want to pay a 6-man, almost $30 million per year? I think it's interesting that Ian Begley reported the Knicks had internally talked about a Tobias Harris trade. This is what Sam Quinn of CBS Sports expanded upon his thoughts on this trade. He said, the problem for the Knicks is that Harris plays a position in which they are already set. Harris is a shoot-first combo forward. The Knicks have Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Harris would likely have to come off the bench to play with them unless one of them was in the deal. That seems unlikely, though, as the Knicks hesitated to offer Barrett in packages for Donovan Mitchell, even though that's literally not true. They did offer him. And Randall's contract is longer and more onerous than Harris. The Knicks could offer Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose as matching salaries, but neither really fits in with the 76ers team that would probably prefer a forward like Harris in that salary slot with James Harden, Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, and Shake Melton, and Matisse Thybulle already at guard. If those contracts were expiring, Philadelphia might consider such a move, but they'd be paying Fournier next year as well, so the financial value of a swap is fairly limited as well. And my question for the Knicks, why? You talked about it internally, which means you talked about a potential package. Are you going to give him Fournier, Rose, and Reddish? Is that enough? Do I want Tobias Harris on, I think it's 2 more years at $30 more million each? Like, I think he went to St. John's, right? Didn't he go to St. John's, Tobias Harris? Something like that. I know he went to a school in New York, and that's cool, and that's a cool story, but I don't. No, he went to Tennessee. He is from the area. Look, we're after the Giants game. It's been a long day here at the studio, I'll tell you that much. He is from the New York area. He went to Tennessee. No St. John's. My question still remains why. So I'll ask you, do you want Tobias Harris to be traded, or do you just want him? Like, do you want him? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Look, you guys know how it gets at the end of a Knicks game day. Same as after a Giants game day. The Giants just clinched the playoffs. D-Nice, I know you're watching. You hate the Giants. Suck it, dude. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Go down, hit that big red button. We're trying to get to 20,000 subs. Let's talk a little bit about the game on New Year's Eve where the Knicks just absolutely railroaded the worst team I've ever seen in the NBA, and that's the Houston Rockets. They are so bad. They're not a good basketball team. Kevin Porter, the fact that he can just do whatever he wants for the ball, that team sucks. But let's talk about our team. Julius Randle has been great. I think he's one of only like 5 players in the NBA in December to average 25-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists. He's been incredible. Emmanuel quickly had a good game. He didn't shoot that well, but he found a way to stuff the stat sheet, and Quentin Grimes continues to do what Quentin Grimes is doing. The Knicks have a winning record in January for the first time since 2013. What were you doing in 2013? Comment that for me down below. What were you doing in 2013? Because I was graduating high school. Wild. Randall is on fire. He's been incredible. Saturday's win was the 6th game in a row with at least 29 points for Julius Randle. I know we talked a lot about on this channel about him being traded, about him being shopped, but when you're putting up numbers like this in the last 6 games with 33 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 53% from the field, and 43% from the three, you don't usually trade guys like that. You don't. You keep them, you roll them out, and you continue to play them. Despite the Knicks not having Jalen Brunson, not having R.J. Barrett, they continue to battle. I'm still not over the worst collapse of a game I've ever seen, the Knicks versus the Mavericks. I was watching that game with my dad, and when Julius Randle scored the layup to put the Knicks up by 9 with 33 seconds, I was like, it's over. He's like, you don't ever say that. And then now I will never say that again. That we haven't talked about that as a fam up here yet, but 9 points in 25 seconds, that was, to quote myself, that was a fucking joke. I'll ask you, what is your New York Knicks New Year's resolution? Mine is to not blow games. Mine is to make free throws and rebound in the last minute. I want to hear from you. Sound off. We're going to be live, I think, for the game tomorrow. I think that's the plan. So subscribe. Turn on your noties. Let's go Giants. We're going to the playoffs. Later.